This is the Sneako hosted debate between Andrew Wilson and Stu Peters about the Charlie Kirk case, the Tyler Robinson case. Let's tear this up. Let's get into it.
Okay, Andrew, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. So thanks, Stu, first and foremost, for actually having this debate, as almost nobody else on your side will.
Andrew Wilson, I said I want to debate you on the preliminary hearing and just, pay me 10 grand, unless I perform poorly. But I think I'll perform pretty well. I also don't think you want to debate the preliminary hearing because it sucked.
To make my position crystal clear on this, as I have many times before, there could have been a conspiracy to murder Charlie Kirk, though it's more likely it would have come from left-wing groups or agitators.
To this I say caca. The left versus right game is tired. Yes, a lot of lefties openly celebrated Charlie's murder, and they profess to want to do acts of violence, but they are suddenly lazy in their assassinations. We had attempts on Trump, which are now being seriously questioned. You had Charlie, and now what? Erica has more money than ever. They haven't even thrown a tomato at her. If Turning Point USA was such a threat to the left that Charlie had to be taken out, well, now a supercharged Turning Point USA must be a greater threat. So what gives? Andrew gives this long explanation about what he thinks his evidence improved, blah, blah, blah. I speed through it, but there's one part I want you to notice.
An example of this, if I say I am holding a cigarette, that is evidence I'm holding one, but if I show you that I'm holding a cigarette, that would be proof.
Got it. So according to Andrew Wilson, just saying he's holding a cigarette isn't hearsay, it's actual evidence. I would say it's hearsay evidence. But showing you he's holding a cigarette is proof. So an image or a video, that's his standard of proof right here in that example. Remember this. I speed through this part. Andrew goes on about some of the more wild conspiracy theories. He's not directly asking Stu questions yet. He's just kind of diminishing stuff. And we get to Stu's opening.
So the reason why I took this debate is because Erica Kirk and Andrew Kovic and Blake Neff won't debate. Jack Posobiec won't debate. And apparently you are the paid shill to come out here and push the idea that Tyler Robinson is definitely guilty and he shot and killed Charlie Kirk with his grandfather's stolen 30-06. You spoke of evidence and you spoke of claims. Jack Posobiec made a claim. He claimed that he saw a 4K HD video. Benny Johnson made the claim that you can see Tyler Robinson taking the shot and that this is an open and shut case. Fact is that there is no evidence that is convincing anyone that Tyler Robinson is in fact guilty in the shooting death of Charlie Kirk, and that is what has led to what I would say is inarguably the world's largest in history crowdsourced investigation into who it is that's responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. So, I can yield my time because I'm just interested in Andrew's debate points. So what evidence do you have, rather than shifting the burden on Stu Peters, rather than shifting the burden where I have to prove that it was a trapdoor and a magnetic force field and a drone swarm and an exploding mic and a second gunman on the Losi Center, rather than talking about Ana Escobar and Google search images, let's just talk about your evidence. What evidence is it, rather than shifting the burden onto me, that you want to debate that will satisfy the audience that Tyler Robinson definitely shot Charlie Kirk?
Stu's opening started out very good with the 4K video stuff. He should have just forced Andrew to explain why TPUSA lied about that. Instead, he went into Ana Escobar and other kind of conspiracy theories, spilling over the whole bucket of worms, so Andrew had his pick of the litter and wasn't tied down to responding to TPUSA's egregious lying about 4K video.
Yeah, so these aren't the claims. Right now there's a trial going on. Neither of us have access to the totality of the evidence.
We've been hearing this. We don't have the totality of the evidence. The grass is always greener on the other side BS for 10 months. They don't have any magic secret evidence. Their evidence sucks.
So I don't even need to make the claims. Not necessary. You have made actual claims here. You have claimed that Charlie Kirk was killed by a microphone. He was murdered by a microphone, even though it's the case that when did this and the Israelis did this and they had exploding pagers, there was smoke, there was all sorts of things like this. You have never provided a single piece of evidence for that absurd claim, not one in that claim.
As you can see here, Andrew Wilson's going to spend most of this time usually avoiding the pre-trial hearing evidence because it sucked.
You're avoiding your claim for Tachuka. You're not actually telling us how it is that you could make the claim that Colvent was 100% there. That's what you claimed. Do you have any evidence to support that other than Snow saying, trust me, bro? No.
Okay, so
how do you get to these conclusions, dude?
Andrew Wilson knows this case sucks. He's misleading his audience deliberately, and it's disappointing. This is why Andrew Wilson would never take up, for instance, my challenge to debate the pretrial hearing and its so-called evidence. He understands it's terrible. My claim that the investigation was never properly executed stands up. He will avoid such things at all costs and keep feeding everyone fetishist slop. That's what he wants to do. I believe that's what he's paid to do. That's the short version. We'll go through this debate and take it apart anyway.
Jack Posobiec, Erica Kirk forgives this man as if he's already guilty.
Stu rightfully points out that Erica Kirk has condemned Tyler Robinson when she said she forgave him. See, you cannot forgive someone without there being guilt. So way before there was any evidence at all, she forgave Charlie's assassin, which means she's saying he's guilty. She condemned him, and it was a trick. She delivered it under this guise of Christian forgiveness, but it was really a manipulation.
The claims have been made by everybody that pays you. You're paid by Turning Point USA.
Andrew Wilson will try to deny he's not in their sphere of influence, but they did pay him to train some debaters. TPUSA obviously thinks Andrew Wilson is a master debater. I don't know how often he master debates, but they paid him because they think he's a master debater to train their debaters. They paid him. Even though Andrew Wilson called Erica Kirk effing retarded, he really said that. So it's a bit disingenuous that Andrew Wilson will try to say he wasn't paid by Turning Point USA. He belongs to them, and he's out here fronting for them. And really, he's here to troll people to get them to say stuff that can be used in legal battles. That's why Turning Point USA wants him out here doing this.
They apparently, nobody that likes them wants to do business, so they come and get a guy that hates them. You're on the record saying Erica Kirk is fucking until the minute that you take a paycheck, and now she's the best at everything, and Tyler Robinson is definitely guilty. So we are here to talk about the evidence that you have.
10 seconds.
Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk.
No, that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss all claims being made. And if you want to take, hang on. If you want to take 30 minutes,
you don't have any
if you want
evidence?
to take, hang on, bro, listen to what I'm saying. If you want to take 30 minutes to discuss your claims and then 30 minutes to discuss mine, I'm happy to do that. But you can't shift out of the burden of your own claims.
This is Andrew's technique of avoiding the fact that the evidence sucks. He will say all of the crazy claims Stu ever made have to be proven right now, and that there's some burden of proof on Stu. There isn't. You don't shift out of the burden. There is no burden. Andrew Wilson invents a burden, put it on you, so he can stall for time, because he doesn't want to talk about things like Officer Bagley's battery running out when he finds the screwdriver.
Can we start with those, and then after that 30 minutes is done,
The
you
burden
can ask
is
me
not
whatever
on
it
me.
is that you
The burden
want.
isn't on me.
The burden is on you for claims that you've made.
There's a lot of super annoying crosstalk I'm going to speed through, but we'll get to the part where Andrew weasels out of how Turning Point paid him.
By the way, I don't work for TPUSA. That's a lie. Secondly,
What do you mean? You
when
went
you
on stream and said
Yeah.
that you took a job with Turning Point.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
I
you
went
did.
on stream, and here's my exact words.
You're denying that
I
you
have
went on stream and said that you worked
self-anointed
for Turning Point.
myself. I don't work for TPUSA.
You didn't get
And
paid
I
by
never
Turning
made the
Point
claim.
USA.
Sure, to give a debate course.
Okay, so you've been paid by Turning Point USA.
So has their guys who, mow their lawn.
Okay, well,
So they work for
that was the
TPUSA
point.
too.
The difference
they work
is
for
the
the
guys
Jews,
that mow the
Stu. They work
lawn.
for the Jews.
So you hear him weasel out of how he got paid by Turning Point USA. He then attacks the landscapers of Turning Point USA as working for the Jews because he's trying to make fun of Stu because he doesn't want to talk about the disastrous pretrial hearing.
Because
the
they
guys
mow their
that mow
lawn.
the lawn, Andrew, are not saying on stream, and they're not saying on social media platforms with a big following that Erica Kirk's
So the stream is muting Stu when he repeats Andrew Wilson's claim that Erica Kirk is effing retarded. Stu challenges Andrew to about these words, and Andrew answers that all women are retarded.
She's
All
not
women
retarded.
all women are
Okay, so anyway,
all of them. Am
They
I
can't
stuttering?
find
Hang on,
anyone
listen
who likes
closely.
them.
All women.
They
So
can't
that would
find
necessarily
anyone who-
include Erica Kirk. All
okay,
of them.
this is what your tactic is. You want to move away from what the debate core is. You want to shift the burden.
I want to
The
know,
burden
first of all,
is,
do you believe that there was an
Tell me
exploding
how
microphone?
Tyler Robinson.
There's just a ton of talking over each other, but finally it gets to where Stu accuses Andrew of trying to make notes for lawyers. Basically, Andrew's trying to get people to say defamatory stuff so TPUSA can sue them.
Go ahead.
You're the guy who's out here trying to lure people into defamation lawsuits to make specific claims. When the claim has been made,
I'm gay! Andrew Wilson is clearly here to make lawsuit material. In my opinion, allegedly.
that Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk, it's been made.
I'm not
Kirk.
here to answer any. Okay, here, I'll start off. Okay, we have
Yeah,
text
so do
message.
you have evidence of
Yeah,
that?
we have a text message confession, Stu. Yes.
Okay, what else?
We have text message confessions, Stu, that they not only took screenshots of, but then they pulled the data off, which show that he texted his boyfriend and admitted to the crime, Stu. Text message confessions.
Andrew is a little misleading here. Tyler Robinson never confessed, nor did he sign a confession. These are implied confessions. We have him allegedly saying, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I took it. Now, that sounds pretty damning. Number one, they don't have proof that Tyler wrote these texts. Anyone could have written these texts so far. And the way they're authenticated, there's an issue with that too.
Okay, what else?
We have text message confessions, Stu, that they not only took screenshots of, but then they pulled the data off.
Yes, most of our government uses this thing called Cellbrite or Celebrite. I think it's Celebrite, like celebrate. We're celebrating that intelligence operatives are ripping our data off our phones illegally. Guess where it comes from? Yes, it's Israeli. Now, don't be a conspiracy theorist. The fact that the Mossad's Unit 8200, their cybersecurity wing, has staffed Celebrite since the beginning, and they now hold most of our agency's evidence and cell phone records and help them with all their cases where they want to, get around our Fourth Amendment. There's nothing to see there. See, Andrew Wilson will make fun of Stu Peters about, the Jews are the landscapers. But he doesn't make fun of it here because, Unit 8200 is handling the evidence for the Tyler Robinson case. And most of us think that's kind of a problem. But not Andrew Wilson or TPUSA. You can't get a job there either in the United States. You can go to Israel. There's 3. You can go to Tel Aviv. You can go to 2 other places in Israel. And you can go all over the world and get jobs with Celebrite. But you ain't getting a U.S. one. So why don't we go with someone else that's on our side of the pond?
Okay, what else?
We have text message confessions, Stu, that they not only took screenshots of, but then they pulled the data off.
That kind of hits different now, doesn't it? They pulled the data off. Yeah, who's they? And how did we get to this place where this foreign country is handling our evidence? Well, it's because they helped us with Thomas Crooks by breaking into his phone for the FBI. At least that's the story. And their website shows intelligence operatives spying on people. I mean, they're at work. It's ridiculous. So the digital evidence in the Tyler Robinson case is completely handled by foreign intelligence operatives. Kind of like everyone speculated from the beginning when they sounded so weird, like they were translated in ChatGPT. Unbelievable.
Now, I've answered your question. Please answer mine. Was Andrew Colvett or Erica Kirk at Fort Huachuca or not?
Erica Kirk is very familiar with Fort Huachuca. She filmed a movie called November Renaissance there, where there's this amazing picture of her as a sniper on a roof. I'm not kidding. That's her, and that's probably Montezuma Peak in the background. It's too bad the film didn't make it. It sounded pretty cool. Now, Andrew Wilson's point of contention here is that was Erica Kirk at the meeting Mitch Snow alleged to have seen her at or at that time just before the event with Charlie Kirk. Well, none of us know that. There's no way to prove that. But TPUSA tried to act like they weren't familiar with Fort Huachuca. Andrew Colvett's relatives served there, and Erica Kirk filmed a movie there. So it's kind of ridiculous they pretended they didn't know about Fort Huachuca. And it makes them look bad. Their PR is terrible.
Stu, answer my question.
I'm here to debate whether or not Tyler Robinson...
They just cross-talk over each other.
Okay, you know what? Here, I'll try a different one. See if you can answer another one. Okay, so is it the case then, Stu, do you believe that a small insect flew into Snow's room and it was actually secretly a government device?
I probably wouldn't buy that story, but we can't prove anything. Here's a 50-year-old picture of a dragonfly to scale. That's a monitoring device. The CIA made it. This is from 1976. It's 50 years old, guys. You think they haven't improved on it in 50 years? They try to make fake bugs and real bugs that carry cameras all the time. It's been in play for a long time. This is old news. So Mitch saying it, who knows? But Andrew is totally disingenuous to act like that's a ridiculous thing. A lot of our tax dollars have gone to those projects.
Are you serious? None of this would be a topic of discussion if you could just tell us how Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk, that's the claim that's been made by Turning Point.
I just gave you demonstrable evidence that was introduced at the preliminary hearing of text messages, which were taken from Tyler's phone, where he admitted to the entirety of the crime. Stu?
He did not admit to the entirety of the crime. That is misleading. His text messages infer he may have had something to do with Charlie that day. But who authenticates those texts? Oh yeah, the Mossad. I mean Celebrite. Just because they hire agents from Unit 8200 and former intelligence operatives from overseas, there's no problem with these people handling our information.
Tyler Robinson write those messages?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because the chain of custody of his phone he had in his pocket when he came in.
His phone was taken from him immediately, and then a confession was disseminated on Discord.
So do you think that the cops? You think that the cops sent them to themselves?
I have no idea.
Yeah, right.
I'm asking you if you have any evidence that
is evidence.
Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk.
Are you saying that those text messages aren't evidence of Tyler Robinson murdering Charlie Kirk?
I have no idea if those messages belong to Tyler Robinson or not. Do you have any other evidence?
Yes, they pulled the data off the phone. They pulled his Google as well.
Andrew mocking Stu saying, do you think the cops wrote them to themselves is pretty good because most of us think yes. Someone in intelligence or law enforcement manufactured these messages. They look translated from another language, from ChatGPT. They're terrible. They're written awful. So yes, that's what we think, a lot of us.
They pulled his Google
There's
data.
no evidence.
Yes, there is
suggests
evidence
that Tyler Robinson.
And not only is there,
evidence,
evidence,
is there
I
any
just
other
gave you
evidence other than
great-
text messages? Is that what
That's
we're putting the whole murder case
that is,
on?
I don't
It's a
even
death penalty
think
case.
that I would need to go beyond a text message confession. Besides the fact that what the hell would you even need to go past? That I texted my boyfriend that I murdered this guy and told him how I did it.
Throughout this so-called debate, Andrew Wilson is constantly saying Tyler Robinson confesses and admits to the outright murder of Charlie Kirk, and he's exaggerating. It's unfortunate, but this is what he's doing. He's just kind of browbeating Stu.
How about the fact that we were told that Tyler Robinson confessed to his dad, confessed to his mom, confessed to a minister, confessed to a U.S. Marshal, confessed to a sheriff?
Yeah.
So in a preliminary hearing, which
I didn't see that introduced.
And this is the point. This is the grass is always greener thing we've been fed for 10 months. Oh, he confessed to everybody. None of these people were called to give a statement or an affidavit. Anything. There's nothing documenting that Tyler Robinson confessed anything to any of these people. We were just lied to for 10 months. Andrew Wilson says, well, they didn't present that because the most damning was the texts. Okay, pal. No. Having a witness saying this man sat across from you and confessed is way more damning than stupid photos of texts. Sorry, it's just plain wrong.
Which is the equivalent of grand jury. Why would they not call any of those witnesses to say,
because they didn't need to.
My son confessed that
because they didn't need to.
They are to provide their most damning evidence during a preliminary.
That's not
hearing.
the most damning evidence. The most damning evidence
is the video
text
that Jack Posobiec
messages.
saw?
No, the text message confession is the most damning evidence.
Well, then,
Yes, according to Andrew Wilson, the most damning evidence will be handled by former intelligence agents from Unit 8200. Nothing to see here.
And the fact that they were able to pull the
and
data
Benny
off
Johnson
of it.
come out and say that they saw a video. It's case closed. It's open and shut.
Yeah, both
They
of those
saw a
guys were
video.
wrong. In fact, the
They
second
were
they
wrong.
said that,
You mean they lied? You mean they lied?
I told both those guys that was stupid to do.
There's
What
a
the hell's wrong
difference
with you?
between wrong.
I believe in this instance, he's directly saying Posobiec and Benny Johnson lied. Officer Tatum did too. A bunch of people. They're all liars. It's incredible where TPUSA has fallen since Charlie's days.
Wrong and lying.
Well, what Kai Schwimmer
One side
said,
of our conversation today, the
Yeah,
side
I'll
that
answer.
you're supporting is filled with liars. The side that I'm here representing is filled with people who don't believe the liars.
Skipping over an insane amount of crosstalk.
Lies when even telling the truth would suit them
Where-
better. Lying
where-
about
where-
alibis,
but
lying
how does
about
this-
the dates when they were
How does this
somewhere, lying
support
about drinking,
any of your,
lying about
I'm going to grant
dating.
it, bro. I'm going to grant it. They're all a bunch of fucking liars. How does this support
Okay.
any of your theories?
There could be 6 million theories.
I'm
But
asking
the
you
theory
about
that
yours,
doesn't
Stu.
stick- the
I'm
theory that
asking
doesn't
about
stick-
yours, Stu.
The difference is, in one of them, a man is on trial for his life, Andrew.
If
And
you held
these
the
are the people
same-
you're out here shilling for. You're paid
Stu,
by these
if
guys
you,
to do
I'm not
this.
paid by them. Great, you're just lying again. So it's great, Stu. Start with this. Let's just start with this. This is really simple.
Did you take money from Turning Point,
Do
Andrew?
you to teach
Stop
a
lying
debate
about
course
that.
for one
You're
day?
trying once again to displace Burden.
I literally trained a debate course for one day, which I do all across the world for people,
You've been
Stu.
paid by Turning Point.
So
Up until you were
was
paid by
Candace
Turning
Owens.
Point,
Candace
Erica
Owens
Kirk
was paid.
fucking-
Candace Owens was paid by Turning Point. What have we established?
I'll just say, I think Candace Owens could be Charlie Kirk's only real friend.
Yeah, but she was paid by Turning Point a lot more than I was. So that aside, here's what's really funny too, Stu.
Candace Owens
If we're
has been
trying,
cheering for
if
Tyler
we're trying
Robinson to be
to
put down like a
eliminate,
dog for a
if
crime
we're,
that he
Hold on, let's try not to interrupt.
Hang on.
Let's
If
try
we
not
started-
to interrupt. It's getting from both
Okay,
sides.
well let me
Yeah,
try.
okay,
Let me try. How about just 1 minute back and forth?
Okay,
1 minute.
sure. Candace
All right,
Owens,
so we'll make it
Candace
easy.
Owens is not demanding that a man be put to death for a crime that he is alleged to have committed in which no evidence can connect him to committing that crime. That is what Erica Kirk is doing. Erica Kirk is the billionaire leader of Turning Point USA, the CEO of Turning Point USA. She is saying she forgives this man, Jack Posobiec, a Turning Point paid shill. He's at Charlie's desk all the time. They are saying they saw a video. They did not see a video. That makes them liars.
We're going to speed through a whole lot of crosstalk. Andrew's obsession with Fort Tachuca because he loves Fort Hoochie Coochie. And I don't know how Sneako didn't lose his mind with these guys, but he did good.
This man is on trial for his life. I would like to know what evidence you have that makes you believe that you can run around saying that it's open and shut, that it's cut and dry, and that Tyler Robinson is Charlie Kirk.
Well, first of all, I never said It's cut and dry and it's open and shut. What I've said is that the evidence
That's what Jack
supports.
Posobiec and
Well, let's do 1 minute. Let's do 1 minute back and forth.
You're
Vince.
debating Andrew Wilson, not Jack.
Well, let's do
Posobiec.
1 minute, Andrew.
Take your issues up with Jack Posobiec then.
This was unfortunate and very transparent gaslighting by Andrew Wilson. Jack Posobiec and many of the other TV USA people will not debate. They won't have a discussion. They won't face any questions. They all act like they're hiding something. And that is why so many people are suspicious of what has happened in this case. And Andrew knows this. That's why they boost Andrew as their champion. So this is terrible gaslighting by Andrew Wilson. And I'm very disappointed to see this.
With Andrew Wilson, you have to contend with my actual worldview.
So,
you can't talk, Stu. I gave you a minute uninterrupted.
Let's do 1 minute back and forth.
So here's the thing that's really funny. I'm just going to grant all of this. They're all a bunch of filthy liars. Those lying, always lying about lying, and then they lie on top of those lies. Great. How does any of this establish any of your theories? How does any of this disprove that Tyler Robinson fired that shot?
No one has yet proven that Tyler Robinson fired that shot, but Andrew just does this kind of thing.
How is it that when we have text message evidence
Extracted and authenticated by intelligence operatives
and DNA,
Lance Twiggs' DNA was on that stuff too, and Lance Twiggs' DNA in some cases was less degraded, which means he handled it more recently, most likely. Kind of like Lance Twiggs was touching the stuff last.
and we have bullet fragments all pulled out, and we have a medical examiner claiming he was shot?
The fragments were amazing. 7 bullet fragments were recovered from Charlie Kirk, and they said he was using a soft point bullet, which is designed not to fragment. It's designed to mushroom and stay solid and make huge cavitation, but it is specifically designed not to fragment, which is quite amazing. No one is questioning this, because the bullet also, the measurements weren't right. We'll get to that later.
You run out there and say that he was killed by a microphone. You claim Andrew Colvett was sitting in Fort Tuchanka. You've made this claim many, many times. You say Erica Kirk is as well. Are you the liar, Stu? Because if you're not the liar, then look me dead in the eye and say that they were there or they weren't. But don't lie to me, man, and I won't lie to you.
Stu, you got a minute.
It's not incumbent upon anybody that's investigating the death of Charlie Kirk to prove that their theory is right. It is incumbent upon the people who are trying to hang a man, to kill him, to gas him, to shoot him, to put a needle in his arm, put him in a chair. It is incumbent upon the state. It's incumbent upon these people who have this man on trial to prove why it's an open and shut case. There is no evidence that links
Andrew.
the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. You know, you mentioned confessions. Nobody knows who wrote them. You mentioned DNA. Lance Twiggs' DNA is on it too. This guy's only been talked to twice by the feds and got immunity.
Okay, strap yourself in. Lance Twiggs names himself Luna after a character from a show called Hell of a Boss, a satirical cartoon about a hitman squad out of hell. The company is called IMP, Immediate Murder Professionals, and Luna is the wolf girl receptionist, and they murder people for hire. Here's a picture of Luna with a rifle. It's kind of a furry culture reference for Lance. Calls himself Luna a lot. Yeah, identifies with this character that runs a murder for hire squad. Also, Lance Twiggs' Steam history, he has an account called Paw Job Johnson, also attached to his name, Lunavore. He likes Luna. There's comments that refer to Luna, Lance's activities, which sound like him. One of the name changes on September 6th, 2025, 4 days before what happened to Charlie happened. Paw Job Johnson, this Lance Twiggs profile, was changed to Homicidal Maniac. Jesse on Fire covered this, and I couldn't believe when I saw it. Looked it up myself, and yes, there it is, and it's attached to an account that people have said is Lance Twiggs. And after that, amazingly, the account has changed to a single V. And man, I really don't like that. Not only is it my logo, it's a little badge, a symbol for my channel. I am referred to as V in some other online communities. So it's quite disturbing to see, but moving on. So yeah, just before Charlie went down, this character, this person, Lance Twiggs, who the feds are protecting, grew up hunting in his grandfather's farm, names himself Homicidal Maniac, styles himself after a hitman from hell. And the show's first episode is about murdering a woman in an upper-class Christian family. It's all satirical, but that's the shtick, you know. It should be pointed out they used engraved weapons for high-profile targets. For real. Sometimes they refer to them as angelic weapons. I'm kind of with Candace Owens as to why this guy wasn't arrested immediately. I have to double and triple down on my claim that this case was never investigated properly.
He's just as much connected by way of DNA as Tyler Robinson is, but nobody's calling for him to be put on trial for his life. So why Tyler Robinson? Why this patsy? They are demanding, she's forgiving. It's open and shut. It's case closed. I saw the video. It's 4K. You see him taking the shot. It's incumbent upon these people to prove the guilt of Tyler Robinson.
Andrew,
it's not incumbent
you got a minute,
upon
Andrew.
To prove
But it's not incumbent upon you people.
It's not when you ask.
Hold on.
It's my turn, Stu. It's my turn.
Hold on. Andrew, go ahead.
I just let you go. I didn't.
Go ahead, Andrew. Starting off. Go.
So anyway, it's not incumbent upon you people to disprove anything either. The problem is that if you go about your day trying to disprove everything that the state says, and then you have alternative theories, you do have to prove those.
No, we don't. The state is supposed to do a good enough job that we don't have alternative theories. Well, they're supposed to tell the truth. But a lot of times they do this JFK stuff to us, and we're all sad, and 20 years later they'll say we're right, and everyone will be like, I don't know what we were thinking.
Yes, you do, Stu. You can't say, well, I have a ton of alternative theories, which helps clear this guy.
When Andrew Wilson says the words, which help clear this guy, he doesn't understand it's innocent until proven guilty. If a simple phrase or theory from a podcaster can clear this guy, we should welcome it. We want to get past any kind of mistakes we've made and make sure we get justice for Charlie Kirk, right? It seems to me these people are hyper-focused on just convicting this kid, ignoring anything else around it. The questions are just obstacles to their objective of ruining this kid's life, and everyone else that was involved, they get away with it. That's good for them. The establishment loves it. I don't understand this. You do not love Charlie Kirk if you take the side that it must be Tyler Robinson at all costs. This case is a disaster. It's a travesty of justice. Convicting this kid, even if they do it, and I think they will, no one's going to go for it. It's not going to change anything. It's just the state saving face, covering up some garbage they're doing.
I have a bunch of alternative theories which will assist in helping to clear this guy, right? I'm trying to disprove it, but I'm not going to stand behind any of them. I'm not going to actually tell you what they are. I refuse to actually dive into my own worldview on this when I'm trying to disprove. By the way, if you held the same rigorous standards that you hold for the evidence requirement that you have for Tyler Robinson to be guilty for your own, you would never believe your own. You would never believe your own theories if you applied the exact same evidentiary standard that you apply for Tyler Robinson to the very things that you profess on your channel as being true.
Andrew is just plain wrong here. He's engaged in his burden-shifting technique. We can talk about how Officer Bagley's camera running out is garbage. We know it's a lie. We know the state is lying to us. Those cameras last a long time. They take a beating. And there's a lot of alarms, and they go all crazy when they're weak and their battery's weak. So his camera going off, the key moment he found the screwdriver that Robinson to the roof, this is ridiculous. We know the state is lying to us. We don't have to prove other theories. We can ask all the questions we want when the state is lying to us, and it's obvious.
How is that possible, Stu? When you say there's no burden on me to prove, you do have to prove your claims, especially if those claims, you're focusing on them to say that you're disproving what the state's case is. I have tons of evidence. I have text message evidence. I have DNA. I have bullet fragments.
So when you speak to the tons of evidence that you have, first of all, I already explained the DNA. Lance Twiggs is equally connected to the murder of Charlie Kirk as Tyler Robinson is when you want to talk about DNA. The guy was already in custody when Discord messages are being sent. There was no confession. They said that he confessed. There is no confession. So, like, all of these things, they leave a whole lot of questions about Tyler Robinson. There is no definitive evidence. That's why you can't come here and defend that position. You have to instead start talking about, 6 million different theories that people are looking into, because when you ask Erica Kirk, why were you on Fort Huachuca, what does she do? She lies. She conspires with Andrew Colvett to produce a fake alibi for the wrong day with somebody else's kids and then hand them to some never heard of before Gary Melton, Paramount Tactical YouTuber. Fuck Gary Melton! Who literally outs that, yeah, it's confirmed Mitch Snow was on Fort Huachuca that day, and confirms that Andrew Colvett is his source feeding him information rather than just saying, well, yeah, I was on Fort Huachuca because my mom, Lori Francefay, works there. Or, yeah, I was on Fort Huachuca bringing her a sandwich. Or I basically grew up on Fort Huachuca, so of course I was there.
That's a minute.
But instead she lies and produces a fake alibi.
Andrew, go ahead.
So
yeah,
when you're talking about
my turn, Stu. Hang on.
Not getting answers, these are the people who need to be answering the questions, but they're cowards and they won't come out here and debate, so they sent you.
But they do.
Here's your evidence.
Andrew, go ahead. Andrew, go ahead. You got a minute.
Go ahead.
They do.
Andrew, go ahead. You got a minute.
They do ask you for your evidence, and I'm just as connected to this case as you are, which means not at all. Were you some great friend of Charlie? Are you somehow super connected to this in a way that I'm not? What gives you the right to represent a view against TPUSA, but not for me to represent a view on their behalf if I agree with them? What?
Okay, so represent
How is it that you... Hey, hold on. Let's do uninterrupted.
Yeah, chill out, Stu. What is it? Well, how is it that you have some great authority as a questioner, but I have no great authority to question you with my own questions as my own form of questioner, questioning the questioners?
Running interference for the state that we all believe is lying to us is not courageous. Questioning the questioners means obey. Be a bootlicker.
Tell me where it is that you end up with this great authority and I don't. Why is it that you deserve to talk to these people, but I'm stuck talking with you instead of the people who profess most of this? You're stuck talking with me for the same reason I'm stuck talking with you. It's because the people on your side are too cowardly, the ones who actually profess this stuff, to stand by any of their views. You yourself, sir, will not stand by your own views right this second. You ask me for evidence, I give you tons. By the way, with Tyler Robinson, there was way more Robinson DNA than Twigs. That's a lie. You say that these photos... You say that these photos... It's my turn, Stu.
Almost done. You got 10 seconds, Andrew. 10 seconds.
You say there's photos there that were wrong? That's a lie. You're just making shit up, Stu, because that's what you people do. You just make it up.
Go ahead, Stu.
What did I make up? What photos are you talking about that I made up?
You said that Eric...
Hey, Andrew.
He
asked me.
No, I don't care about the 1 minute, 1 minute. You make some claim like that. I want to know what the fuck you're talking
What
about.
photos are you claiming that Erica Kirk forged with kids that weren't hers? What?
Well, you know that picture with her finger over it? That was the alibi. I wasn't on Fort Huachuca.
Prove those weren't her kids.
Seen that.
Prove those weren't her kids. Prove it. How do you know those weren't her kids?
I have seen the pictures of Charlie Kirk's kids.
So first of all, with this so-called alibi, they got the date wrong, and I think they conflated it on purpose. But that's just my opinion. And the little girl in the picture, that might be Charlie's daughter. But that little boy, that's not a baby. That's not a 1.5-year-old. Everyone knows this is moronic. Gary shared it by mistake. After reading out loud, don't share with anyone. Totally embarrassing. Fumble of the year. And yeah, some people have quietly admitted at least one of the kids isn't hers in the picture. The thing is, they just never clear up where the hell she was 2 days before everything went down. They don't care.
That doesn't...
Everybody knows.
The faces are obstructed.
It was for the wrong day.
The faces are
not an
obstructed,
alibi.
Stu. By the way, it wasn't for the wrong... How do you know it was for the wrong day?
Because you can read the date on the picture and everyone knows what day we were looking for, and they provided the wrong day. You know how to use a calendar, you know it's the wrong day. It's like telling time. It's my opinion. Andrew Wilson does not look at a lot of the material he criticizes. We just easily know it's the wrong date. Skipping through some crosstalk nonsense.
We have
Nobody
text message confessions.
Wrote those text message confessions. They sound like they were written by chat.
So who do you think wrote them, Stu? I don't know. Who could say?
Are you
the
ignoring
Jews?
the fact?
The Jews wrote them, Andrew.
Okay.
Who do you think wrote them, bro?
Okay, so
we've been through the text messages, and we've been through who handles the extraction, Celebrite, and their Mossad agents. They are the Jews, which is hilarious. Andrew's saying this, and they sound terrible. They do sound like foreign agents. ChatGPT'd them now. Could be any kind of intelligence agent. I don't know. Could be ours. Could be a bunch of idiots. Who knows? We have no idea. Neither does Andrew. This is why we don't want foreign intel handling our evidence in our important cases. And one of the biggest disputes about the text messages is when they were written. Timestamps are always hidden from us. They show Lance's phone, ooh, they smashed the time away. It's totally ridiculous. An officer testified he was told Tyler Robinson was brought in around 9 p.m. No, what's the evidence? When was he checked in? We have these records. The camera footage of him turning himself in. Oh, it disappeared. It's totally ridiculous. If this kid was brought in like 6 in the evening or 3 in the afternoon, they got to explain why they didn't seize his phone. And then, if they did seize his phone early on, they got to explain how those messages appeared. It's going to get rough.
You must be ignoring the fact that our government continuously lies. Like, are you?
Okay,
do you think
the government lies? Who do you think wrote them, Stu?
I don't accept the government narrative. That
I know. Who do you think wrote them,
Charlie Kirk, or any of the made-up evidence?
Who do you think wrote them? Who do you think wrote them?
Why didn't his mom confess? I don't know.
Who do you think wrote them? I don't know.
That's
who
the whole
knows?
point.
Who could say?
The burden is on
they're on his phone.
They're on his
phone. They take pictures of him on the phone. Then they pull the data off the phone. That's not enough evidence for you, though, Stu, because at some point the Jews could have written them somewhere, right?
Well, seeing that as Andrew's calling them the Jews, extracted the data with the Celebrite, the Mossad agents, they can kind of manufacture whatever messages they want on anyone's phone. That's just the evidence, buddy. Sorry.
Is Lance Twiggs' DNA on the screwdriver and the rifle?
It is.
Was it on the phone?
And it's much lesser to a much lesser degree than Robinson's.
Andrew's pretty gross for saying this. Tyler Robinson's DNA was the most degraded sample on the rifle. Lance's DNA was a better preserved sample. It means most likely Lance touched it after Tyler. Kind of problematic to the narrative of Tyler dumping the rifle.
Was it on the phone?
I didn't see that in the preliminary.
So do you know if it was on the phone? Did
I
Lance
don't.
Twiggs write the confessions? Was
I don't.
Lance Twiggs riding around in an SUV planting Tyler Robinson evidence on Palantir property?
Do you have
know?
any evidence that
It's
Twiggs
not
was doing
incumbent
that?
upon me to prove that Tyler Robinson is innocent. Do
It
you
is the
understand how
second you
system
pose
of
it as an
justice
alternative
works?
theory. As soon as you pose it as an alternative
What do you
theory,
mean? That's
then
called an
it becomes
investigation.
incumbent upon you.
That's called an investigation. I'm not
And what
putting
have you
on
learned?
trial for your life.
I'll tell you
people
what.
have this guy on trial
Yeah.
for his life saying he definitely did it.
And what have you learned in
The
your
criminal
great-
justice system
Yeah,
in
what have
this
you learned in your
country means that
investigation?
it's the
Stu?
burden of the prosecution
Stu,
to show
what have
us
you
how he
learned
did it.
what have you learned actually in your investigation here? What have you actually learned? Just that TPUSA is full of
I've learned a
liars?
whole lot of things.
What?
Yeah, of course they are.
Okay, what? What have you
Primarily.
actually learned?
I've learned a whole lot.
What?
But that's not what I'm here to discuss.
Yeah, what?
I'm here
Okay,
to
so
have
right.
You tell
I'm
me
here.
how
I'm running an investigation,
Tyler
but I
Robinson
can't even tell you
killed
what I've
Charlie
learned. I can't even tell you what I've learned.
Let's get into the theories instead of getting into more personal claims. How about we get into? We haven't seen it spelled out, but what we actually think happened, or what is really going on. This is still going on. It's in trial. I would like to hear from both. If you guys are okay with this, if we hear some theories and we hear what do you think actually happened, what's the truth?
So, but
Great.
hold on a second. To do that, what we're doing is we're prosecuting the investigators, which is millions of people who don't believe Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. There should
So-
be no problem providing evidence to
So he's not
argue
gonna give you one,
debate
Sneako.
that Tyler Robinson Charlie Kirk. I
He's
talk
not.
about this shit every day.
He's not going to
I
actually
talk
give
about
you
this. I talk
anything.
about my perspective. What
Can
I
you
have
tell me what
learned
you think happened
every
then?
single day.
I'll tell you what I think happened if you tell me what you think happened. Go ahead, Stu. What happened?
I talk about every single day what I've
Yeah,
learned.
what happened?
That's what I
Brett?
spend I'm here to debate you about.
I know, and I'm
Tyler
asking
Robinson
you.
and Charlie
Happened.
Kirk.
What do you think happened? That's what Sneako wants to know. It's what the audience want to
We
know.
can
What do
find
you
a
think
point of
happened?
contention. If we both spell this out, then we can
Yeah, what
find
do you
a
think
way
happened,
to
Stu?
lead the
Tell us.
discussion.
What I don't believe happened is that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk in his neck bones of steel with his grandfather's stolen 30-06 and confessed to his dad and confessed to a minister and a U.S. Marshal and turned himself in.
Yeah, so what do you
Beyond
think
that-
happened?
Hold on, let him
Beyond
answer.
that,
Let him answer.
There can be all kinds of speculation as to what happened. I know that I have examined a whole bunch of interesting banks of data, including image searches, including flight tracking information. For example, Turning Point USA planes being on tarmacs in the middle of the night in airfields, the same airfields that were involved with the cocaine cowboy, with Iran-Contra. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they're on these airfields for 20 or 30 minutes. They leave there, they go to a bigger airport. Then they overlap 24 to 27 times with aircraft that are owned by Miriam Adelson. They're on the tarmac with Miriam Adelson's planes for 1 to 2 hours. And then every single time Miriam Adelson's plane leaves and it goes to to Israel. I think that's really interesting. These are all types of different things that I have been investigating, and I would love to ask Turning Point USA about them because I think that they are relevant and pertinent. But it's not
That at a
incumbent upon
military
me to
base?
prove- It's
That
not
at-
incumbent upon me to prove that that has something to do with the death of Charlie Kirk. It's
Great.
incumbent upon the people who
Yeah.
are trying Tyler Robinson for his life to prove that he actually did it. So where's the evidence of that?
Okay, so here's what
Aside from a confession that we don't
I'm
know
going to give
he
you the
made.
same.
Okay,
I'll
Andrew,
give
go
you the
ahead.
same
Go ahead,
exact.
Andrew.
I'll give you the same exact answer back. Here's what I don't believe, Stu. I don't believe a microphone blew his neck out. I don't believe that Snow saw anybody at Fort Tashuka. I don't believe that you can tie Colvette to anything. I don't believe you can tie Erica to anything. I don't believe you have a single credible eyewitness or alternative theory. I don't believe that you have anything, Stu. Nothing. I don't think your investigation has proven a single thing.
But what do you
not
believe?
One.
What do you-
Not
what-
yours. Not Candace's.
I don't believe that the
nobody's.
state's
In fact,
prosecution
hang
of
on, my
Tyler
turn.
Robinson has
My
proven
turn.
a single
Well,
thing.
the answer to the
I
question is,
don't
what do you
think
think
has
happened?
proven a single
What,
thing.
Andrew, what-
Okay, but how come he didn't have to answer that question then, Sneako?
he said he doesn't believe in the narrative, so he's
That's
giving.
not what happened. That's what didn't happen. I'm answering in the same way. So tell me, if he tells me what he thinks happened, I'll tell what I think happened. I think that's
To be fair, it sounded like he was rejecting the official narrative. So I would like to
No,
hear.
to be fair, he literally refused to answer that question that you're now demanding that I answer, which is what happened. What do you think happened, Stu? What? What?
I just told you that I don't believe the official narrative. I answered your question.
That's
There's
not
been
answering
nothing
the
but
question.
lies. I have talked to you about Miriam Adelson's planes being with Turning Point planes and then going directly to Israel.
So do you think Miriam
27
Adelson
times.
had a hand in murdering Charlie Kirk?
Do you think that Tyler Robinson had a hand in Charlie
Yes.
Kirk? It's not
100
me
yes.
that has the burden to prove that Miriam Adelson
Oh,
or
man.
Erica Kirk or Tyler Boyer or Andrew Colvett or anybody. It's not incumbent upon me to prove that these people, Charlie Kirk.
Then how's it incumbent
Tyler
upon you to
Robinson
disprove?
on trial for his life? That is
Yeah.
how do you understand how the judicial process works in this
I
country?
do. Yep, innocent until proven guilty.
So,
do you understand how
you-
evidence works in
do
this
you
country? That
understand
you
that
can
it
be
is the
guilty.
burden?
Yeah, you can still be guilty of a crime even if you're presumed innocent. In this particular case, we have lots and lots of evidence that you have not refuted. You haven't refuted the text messages. You haven't
Yes, I
refuted
did.
the DNA. You
Yes, I
haven't
did.
refuted any. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's start with the easiest one possible for you. Is it actually impossible, Stu, that a 30-06 hit Charlie Kirk? Is that actually impossible?
Anything is possible, but I think a 30-06 being the weapon that caused what we saw happen to Charlie, I think that's garbage. The bullet they say was used is pretty much designed not to fragment. You know, if it hits bone, it fragments. But this expanding soft point bullet is for deer and big game. It's to mushroom out and cause big wound cavitation. This thing hit very tiny neck bones, the path of which is very questionable. The energy's all up and down. Very magic bullet, the path it must have taken to obliterate his spine. It fragmented into 7 fragments. Also, the measurement is too small, but we'll get to that in a minute. That's the testimony. That's the evidence. That's the evidence. The idea of this bullet fragmenting into 7 fragments to me is incredible. Unless they had like concrete wall or, you know. A lot of people want to compare it to Martin Luther King. Well, just like Charlie Kirk, they couldn't match the bullet to the weapon they found nearby. They claimed it was a 30-06. It's all a bunch of foggy nonsense story, just like Charlie. It's like these guys need a new playbook. Seriously. With Martin Luther King, it went into his jaw, blew through his jawbone, then re-entered his neck. It exited his body. Everyone says it didn't leave an exit wound. That's garbage. It exited his body, re-entered his body, blew through his spine, hit his left scapula, and then knocked him to the floor. Literally, this kind of bullet, it shot Martin Luther King twice. It's that awesome, okay? Went through his jaw, out in the air, in his neck, through his body, threw him down. Same bullet, soft point, 30-06. That's what they said it was. And you know what? His was mushroomed, and it had 2 little fragments. So 3 total fragments after all that destruction on MLK. So I have a very hard time believing Charlie Kirk's tiny neck caused twice as much fragmentation to this bullet than MLK's entire body did. In both cases, the feds found the gun, couldn't match the bullet to the gun. You know how it goes.
Based on my experience with 30-06, everything that I've seen with 30-06, no, I don't believe that he was shot by a 30-06. And I think
these guys erupted a ton of argumentative crosstalk, and they get back to it.
You're not addressing any of it. Let's start with the 30-06.
I did.
Let's start with the 30-06. Is that possible or impossible? You say that it's impossible. Yeah, I heard you say that, the steel neck theory is ridiculous.
It was impossible.
Okay, it's not impossible.
Based on what I saw, no, I don't believe that that's what happened.
Okay.
I don't believe that Tyler Robinson's lazy eye and his sniper abilities shot Charlie Kirk in his Superman
at 140 yards.
No, I don't believe that.
Did Martin Luther King have a super jaw?
I was a little disappointed here to see Andrew not knowing what he's talking about when he says, does Martin Luther King have a super jaw or steel jaw? The bullet passed through Martin Luther King's jawbone. They're arguing Charlie Kirk's Superman spine stopped the bullet. He's either getting it wrong or he's lying here. I don't understand this.
I believe his grandmother when she said that she's never even seen Tyler Robinson with a rifle, with a
that never happened.
Firearm.
That literally never happened. You just made it up.
But
Can you
show
me
text messages about that?
Where, show me.
They're on X.
Somebody
they're
on
went
X.
to Tyler Robinson's grandmother's door.
So can we talk about some of the, we're going back and forth the 30-06 and the different evidence and claims.
Yes.
What about
start? I'll give you.
No.
And they're off again with the crosstalk stuff.
It's not only possible, it's likely. And let's point this out too. When you say steel neck, Martin Luther King must have had a steel jaw then. Because it stopped there too, Stu. He stopped at 30-06 round 2.
None of
Did
what
he have
you
a
just
steel
said.
jaw?
It's embarrassing that Andrew Wilson accuses Stu of making things up, and Andrew has made it out of whole cloth that Martin Luther King stopped a 30-06 round with his jaw. This doesn't exist anywhere. No one's ever said this. It went through his jaw, back into his neck, through his spine, clavicle, some other bones, slammed into his left scapula, and threw him down. Andrew didn't look at that case at all. He doesn't look at what he's talking about these days, and he has lost his edge.
Did he have
None
a
of
steel
what
jaw?
you just said is evidence that Tyler Robinson shot.
No,
Charlie
the
Kirk.
evidence for that would be his confession.
That
Remember
sounds
when
like
he
an
confessed?
investigation.
Do you remember when he confessed, Stu? Via text message? You
No,
remember when
I
he
don't.
sent text messages to his boyfriend and laid out the entirety of it? He said that he ditched his rifle. He said that he shot Kirk.
Repurposing the text of, I had a chance to take out Charlie Kirk and I took it, to, I shot Charlie Kirk. It's just an exaggeration.
He went through the entirety of everything
No, he
that he
didn't.
did.
He said,
Yes, he
I
did.
did it. He never said what he did.
He did what?
He said,
What do you
did
think
it.
he did? What do you
I don't
think he
know.
was referencing? I don't know.
I have no idea. It is
I
not
did
incumbent
it.
upon me to prove what he meant.
Yeah, I did it.
It's the prosecution's burden to prove what he meant when he said, I did it.
He meant
But
he
here
meant
you
he
go.
was he meant he was going to go get ice
He
cream.
went through.
Actually, here's a photo of him getting ice cream at a Dairy Queen and some other food. Remember what Andrew said at the beginning.
An example of this: if I say I am holding a cigarette, that is evidence I'm holding one. But if I show you that I'm holding a cigarette, that would be proof.
So there we are. Proved he got ice cream. Well, actually, Candace Owens proved he got ice cream. The feds hid this photo from us. The clearest photo of Tyler Robinson in the area around that time. Don't ask me why the feds hid it from us. And don't ask Andrew Wilson either. He doesn't care if the feds hide stuff from us. Some more talking over each other.
Well, how did it get there, Stu?
How can I tell you how it got there? Did
Do you
Lance
think-
Twiggs bring it there? Because his DNA is on it too.
So Twiggs, you think that Twiggs brought it there?
I didn't say that. It's not incumbent upon me to prove that Lance Twiggs
Got
brought
it.
anything anywhere because he's not on trial for his
Do
life.
you know
still
that
don't understand
we
how
still
the
use
judicial system
inductive?
is supposed to
Yeah,
work
we
in this
use
country.
induction.
You're not
Stu.
supposed to railroad
We use
patsies.
induction.
You're supposed to use evidence.
We use induction. If Tyler Robinson Tyler Robinson
What is
rifle
the
there,
evidence
text
that
message from Tyler
Robinson-
Robinson saying that he ditched his rifle there, we can use inductive reasoning to put him both there on the scene. We can also have his rifle on the scene. We also have the bullets that he inscribed with his own Dremel gun on the scene.
The Dremel tool was not on the scene. The Dremel tool belongs to Lance Twiggs.
Boy, that's a huge series of coincidences, Stu. I'm
We
glad that you
also-
have tons of alternative theories that are much better. Oh, wait, you don't.
We also have Lance Twiggs' DNA on the murder weapon. We don't see Tyler Robinson with a murder weapon. We don't see Tyler Robinson with a rifle at all. We don't see anybody holding a rifle. We have a 30-06 that has dust in the barrel.
Why
which
would you
was
need-
never shot?
Yeah.
Did you know that? Did you consider that evidence?
Yeah,
You're like, there's
hey,
nothing
hang on.
suspicious at all.
Yeah,
but
let's
there's
start
a lot
with
of
that.
things
Hey,
suspicious.
here,
Hold on.
let's go over that.
Hold on.
Dust
There's
in
a lot
the
of things
rifle
suspicious.
bore.
You asked me what's suspicious.
I'm
I'm trying to
I
tell
want to
you,
do
and
one
now
point
you're
at a time.
filibustering.
I want to do one point at a time.
Let's
So let's do
stick to the dust on the rifle. Let's
Yeah,
hear
so
it.
guess
your-
it was
go ahead.
ditched in a forest, Stu. Guess what exists in forests? Dirt and dust. Wow, this is mind blowing. Also, point two: just because you fire a rifle doesn't blow out all the dust, Stu. It doesn't
How do
blow
you
it
know
all
that?
out, bro.
This is a ridiculous point of contention. Usually when you fire any weapon, the dust gets blown out. You can have occasions where there's some dust afterwards, but look, people are not taking weapons that haven't been fired for a long time or been in a dirty place, firing them, and then flipping it up and looking down the barrel to blow their own heads off. So it's a stupid point. Dust in the barrel, it would lean more towards not being fired. Sorry. Use induction, remember?
I don't know what
How
the
do you
heck
know
you're talking about. Because, man, I've been working on rifles my entire life.
Okay.
You could take your granddaddy's 357,
Okay.
go
How did
outside
it-
from
how did
30
it get
years
on the
ago,
roof?
shoot it.
Saying you shot Granddaddy's 357 doesn't mean anything. He did not want to jump to the next part where he looks in the barrel because everyone would be like, you idiot. You would look down the barrel after you start shooting an old gun. Totally unsafe. So he gave up trying to prove his really stupid dust in the barrel after shooting point.
Bro, you
They
want to
provide
dress
fake
any
alibis.
claims.
They lie about dating. They lie about drinking.
You lied about
They
the
lie
mic. You
what
lied
day of the
about
week
Fort
it is.
Tachuca. You lied that Andrew Colvett
No,
was
I
Jewish.
didn't.
You lie
I'm
constantly.
discussing evidence. I'm discussing Department of Defense contracts. I
Did
tell you,
TPUSA
the
and
chances
Erica
of this all
Kirk and
being
Israel
coincidence are
conspire
impossible.
to kill Charlie Kirk or not?
You're not gonna have me making a definitive.
I'm not gonna
Here we are
ever.
at the end of this.
Yeah,
I knew
that's
it.
right.
I told everybody.
That's right.
Andrew Wilson is literally here to try to drag Baron Coleman and everybody else into defamation lawsuits on behalf of Erica Kirk. There's a team
What
of
are you
lawyers that
talking
sent
about?
you out to go do that. You were trolling.
Never
Baron
happened.
Coleman.
You just
were
made it
trolling
all up.
Project Constitution.
Never made a
You
single
were coming
claim.
at me.
Bro,
Anybody
never
want to
happened.
claim?
You're
Do you
lying.
want to debate? Do you want to debate? Do you want to debate? Yeah.
You're
tell
lying
me, how
again.
did Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk?
I was trying to debate with these people.
You can't do that.
It's my opinion. This is how they laundered paying Andrew Wilson to go out and troll for lawyer notes. Stu is exactly right. What they did is they paid him under the guise of teaching a debate course. You're not going to see one TPUSA debater say, I learned these awesome skills from Andrew Wilson. It's never going to happen. Sneako tried to say, let's conclude here, but these guys just kept going at it with each other.
Martin Luther
offered
King
no evidence at all.
had an iron jaw. He had
Martin
an iron
Luther
jaw.
wasn't
It was
sitting
jaw
next to
steel.
Charlie Kirk, and Tyler Robinson's not on trial for shooting Martin Luther.
A brilliant observation by Stu Peter. And once again, Andrew Wilson lies about the iron jaw stopping a bullet. Dude, stop.
Neither's Erica.
He's on trial for
Erica
shooting
Kirk-
Charlie Kirk, and
Erica
there's no
Kirk
evidence to
and Andrew
suggest that any
Colvett.
of that is true.
Erica
While
Kirk and
is
Andrew
making a
Colvett
claim
are not on
definitively,
trial, bro.
I forgive him.
All right, so
You have no evidence
All
to
right.
suggest that Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk, outside of the Fed slop narrative that nobody here believes.
great.
Bro,
So
you
Stu
have
Peters
no
is on. Hold on,
evidence
let's
for
wrap
any
this
of
up,
your
guys.
claims.
Hold on,
I gave
that's
you
it.
evidence.
That's it. We're at time, so we can go subscribe
Give
to
me evidence.
Andrew
Give me
Wilson
Fed
has a
slop.
show on YouTube. Stu Peters is on Rumble.
You gave me conspiracy slop.
Okay, I think this was an interesting conversation. Thank you both for having this discussion that many are afraid to have. It was what it was. Maybe it could have been better, but I tried the best I could. So there you go. That was an interesting conversation. Thank you both for your time. I appreciate you, and I hope to have more discussions like this in the future.
Well, that was pretty nuts. It's disappointing to see how Andrew just kind of makes things up when he gets into the weeds of things. I don't think he knows this case well at all, and he's just kind of being obtuse with these different people he does get to debate them. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.